We are also honored this evening to have our State Senator, Joan Lovely, and the Honorable Mayor, Ted Betancourt. So I am going to ask Mayor Betancourt to make his way to the front here so he could say a few words. And I would ask anybody that's coming up on the stage, you have to come up the ramp. Just be careful of the wire here. I'm not very good at first aid. So, Mayor?
Thank you, and good evening to all of you. I'm very honored to be here tonight to share in the recognition of and to offer my heartfelt congratulations to the worthy recipients of the George Peabody Legacy Award and their families. I also want to thank the Peabody Education Foundation for this wonderful event. I can't believe it's been 9 years, truly extraordinary. I'm proud to be a very small part of such a caring group of citizens who year after year provide the schools, teachers, and our students with additional resources. I have always had a deep love for the city, and that feeling is deeply embedded in me because of the warm, supportive, and challenging environment that I grew up in. And it all began with my experiences as a student. I am a proud graduate of the Peabody Public Schools, from kindergarten at the South Memorial School through my graduation at Peabody High School. I was continually blessed to be surrounded by administrators and teachers who cared for me and my classmates and worked hard to provide me with the tools I needed to pursue my goals in life. I could stand here right now and recite the names of every teacher I had. I say that often, and I really can do that. Each one had helped me in some way, and several made a deep impact on my education and ultimately my life. I am extremely happy to know or have known personally each recipient tonight, and I am fortunate to have seen each one of them in action and working with our students. Each person honored tonight is a person of integrity and high character, and all the wonderful words and accolades we will hear later about each of them are richly deserved. As an elected official, and more importantly as a parent of 4 young children, you hope and pray that your educational leaders and teachers are dedicated, committed, and care for their students. You put a lot of faith into these men and women to educate, guide, and challenge future generations. It is a great gift to have the opportunity to contribute in such a profound and meaningful way. The 6 men and women we honor here today have left their imprint on our city and have impacted countless students. As a parent, you can only hope that people like the recipients tonight are those that touch your children's lives in their educational journey. The work each honoree did is essential work. The impact you made was real. The support, encouraging words, and discipline you provided mattered to the children in your care. Peabody is a better city because of you. Congratulations to each one of you and your families. Thank you.
Another special person that we have here this evening is Dr. Vadelia, who is our superintendent of schools. Thank you for coming. And we also, yes, it's okay, you can cheer for him. You know, he doesn't have the easiest job in the city. I'd also like to thank the many PEF members who have shown up this evening, starting with Christine Bruno, Mary Bellavance, Debbie McGregor, Karen McGovern, Donna Craven, Nat Magna, Dan Vasallo, Katrina Vasallo, Dr. Lord, Tom Gould, and Mayor Betancourt. These folks show up every month, lately on Zoom, one day again in the future it'll be together, and give up their time and their effort and their energy running around doing all of the marvelous programs that the PEF does. So thank you, PEF members, board members who are here this evening. Thank you. None of this would be possible without the generosity of the businesses in and around the city of Peabody who give of their treasure and time as well to help us out and to keep our programs running. And I want to give a particular shout out this evening to Peabody Television, Peabody Access Television, for doing all of the filming you'll see tonight, as well as the entire show. Our friends from Greylock, who managed to get sort of pulled into these things because of me, but thank you, all of our friends from Greylock that helped. And then we have a group of sponsors on the back. I won't go through all of them, but I do want to say that every single one of those sponsors on the back, if you would just take a look and know that if they have all given to us and helped us every single year, and we're very gracious to them. Thank you. And a sponsor that I can't omit from recognition, because without his funds, the PEF would be struggling along, and because of his efforts, the PEF survives and thrives. And we were able to do a heck of a lot during the pandemic year. And we will be honoring him. He's a Legacy Award recipient as a philanthropist in the past, and we will be honoring him Tuesday evening at the school committee meeting. But Warren Waugh, the owner of Lion Waugh Motors, has given so many significant gifts to the Peabody Education Foundation. There's just nothing I can say in terms of thanks that will ever, ever equal all that he's done. So thank you, Warren. You're not here, I know, but watch it on TV. The final welcome is to all the former recipients who are here this evening, who I had the pleasure of seeing in the dining room, enjoying each other's company, and our new class of 2021 George Peabody Legacy Award recipients. Welcome, and again, when the new class comes up to the sides, just watch the wire. With that, I'd like to move into our musical selections, and the first one is going to be For the Beauty of Earth.
Sister,
remember most are events like this where I got to listen to the talent like that. It's seared in my memory, and it will be forever, just how wonderful they are. So what about one more round of applause? Events like this don't really happen without a circle of volunteers. Anybody that's run an event like this knows that you need as much help as possible. In my case, all the help is somebody else. So I would like to personally thank the volunteers who put this evening together. Of course, I've already talked about PATV and all the work that they did, but there's a group from Greylock that really dug in and built everything from the bottom up in terms of program books and the event out there. They went out and hustled events for rent and got some free tables, and then they went downtown and hustled a Gallo Nero, and they got some food that we if I told you what we paid for it, you probably couldn't purchase 6 meals with it, but he was so generous. And the group that did this all, including the little cups that are out there with the all bundt cakes in them, is Kathy Gravel, my beautiful wife, who's not a member of the board but gets sucked into all of this stuff. Jenny Maria, who has come recently to work for us and found out that her first assignment was to help do this. Two additional special people to me, Katrina and Dan Vasallo, my son-in-law and daughter. And last, but certainly not least, the queen pin organizer of the entire event, the person who said, "Get out of the way, let me do the job," was Mary Bellavance. And I have to tell you, having Mary and Debbie in the office has been like the time of my life. I've really enjoyed having them around. They're a lot of fun. So, the Peabody Education Foundation was founded, this is actually our 36th year of existence. And considering how many things come and go in this world, it's pretty amazing we've been able to be around for 36 years. And in that 36 years, we have been able to raise and provide back to the children in the school system in Peabody well over $1.2 million. We have no paid staff. We have no guaranteed source of funding. We basically start every year with the same plea to the community. Can you help us? Can you help us help our kids? Can you help us deliver programs? And the community has always come shining through and helped us out. So I can never leave this stage without saying, if you feel compelled after this evening's event to make a donation, please go to peabodyedfoundation.org, click on the contribution page, and you'll be able to help out too. How's that for a pitch? The purpose of the Peabody Education Foundation is really very, very simple. Our mission can be said very simply as we provide financial and human resources to aid the school system in the delivery of exceptional and advanced curriculum programs and services. And we do that with 100% volunteers. We have no paid staff. We basically want to give everything back that we receive, and that's done. We have a myriad of programs, which I've talked to you in the past about. Our guest reader program is launching again live and in Zoom. And, you know, where we've got 65 to 70 volunteers that are going to classrooms and are going to read to students, because we know that hearing a story is as important as reading a story. and is a great way to develop one's mind. So that program is kicking off. This legacy program is one of our programs, and this year we've ramped up our grant program because we were able to raise some additional money. We ramped up our grant program. We are no longer calling it Best Bet. It's now the PEF grant program, and it will still continue to provide grants to individual classrooms that have great ideas about how to deliver their curriculum and great events that they want to present to the kids. But we will also this year be unleashing a district-wide grant program, and one of those this year is a program that we had gotten requests for in the past and funded one classroom and then maybe two. But this year we're funding the entire elementary school population, 3,000 children, with a birthday books program. Basically, every child on their birthday will receive a book donated by the PEF for them to have and own, and they can take it home and it's their book. So it's got a great new program that's coming out. The purpose for us being here this evening in terms of the Legacy Award is a simple mission too. We always felt, there was a group of us at the PEF who always felt that, you know, there are halls of fame for everything around us, sports, you know, entrepreneurs, you name it. It seems like we honor people, politicians, everything. We honor everything. But the people who made that all possible were typically teachers. Somebody who touched a life, and then somebody who brought that life forward, and it was like a flower blooming for them. Yet, they never got recognized. And they did maybe amongst their peers and at retirement parties, but we kind of forget. And so we thought, what a good idea it might be, and I think it is, that we remember all the unsung heroes who helped all of our kids become the great people that they are today. And so we started a process of asking people if you could nominate somebody who have characteristics of making an indelible mark on the city of Peabody in terms of education or philanthropy, who would that be? We have a list of nominees that would shock you. And every year we make the call out and we maintain our list, and we continue to maintain our list, and it grows and it grows and it grows. And every year we have a new class. This year a class of 6. Last year, due to the tragic incident that happened with Marchetti, we had a class of 1 in special recognition for what she contributed to the school system. So the Legacy Award is all about folks who gave it their all, who gave us their career, some 30, some 40, some more years than that, and are deserving of our recognition, and will always be remembered on our wall of fame outside at the Higgins Middle School, which was the capstone of what we wanted to do. We wanted to have them permanently remembered as people who gave back to the community, people who gave back to the education of our kids and who made a mark, and that's why they're there. And my goal as the chairman of PEF is to fill that wall with names so nobody ever forgets what they did. And so this evening, we are going to be recognizing the 6 new inductees. Now, I'd ask you, again, as inductees, when we call you up to speak or to receive your award, please come up on the sides, be careful of the wire. And I've also been cued in by PATV. I don't have it in my ear, but the fellow next to me and this guy over here keeps saying, don't get too close to the mic because it makes an exploding sound. Not only here, but we're streaming live right now. And so you're really playing it loud for the folks at home. So please just keep that in mind. You can stand back. This is a very sensitive microphone. Our first honoree this evening is Mr. Richard Carey. While he is retired, he is well loved, as you can tell. And I remember when, and this is how old I am, I remember when he came to the school system. I was on the school committee back then. And he taught drama, stagecraft, improvisation at the high school. And really, his career spanned 26 years here. You know, in that time, he directed and he produced well over 100 plays and musicals as the leader of the school's award-winning drama club, Stage One. And from one of his many, many nominations over the years, because he's been nominated for many years, it was said he had the gift of bringing together students from all backgrounds and used art and theater as his mixing bowl. So let's learn a little bit about Mr. Carey.
He is the true definition of what it means to be an effective teacher. He is a master in his field in both theater and in education. He teaches with an open heart and an open mind, and he has just such an open perspective of his students that he created a warm and welcoming environment where every student felt like they could be who they were, regardless of where they came from.
He certainly had a place in his heart for the underdog, and was certainly always a great comfort to me when things were hard for me in the teaching business, as they sometimes are.
The auditorium for many students was just a place of acceptance, and he was always just so inclusive of every student that walked through that door, and that spread down to everybody else.
He's a very funny man, which made it very comfortable for all of the kids.
Except during show week, it gets very intense.
Oh, no, that's a different person. That's not Mr. Carey. He's not there.
Yeah.
He has the ability to get to know someone very quickly, and he picks up on subtleties in a way that helps him connect with people. And I think that as a teacher, he used that to great service. You know, take the content, drama in this case, and teach it in a way that I think was very accessible for a modern high school student.
I think he spent 26 years of his career always willing to put others before himself, and still continues to do it today through retirement.
I learned from him so much about behind the stage, on the stage.
It was hard not to learn from him.
I know.
He just was so full of knowledge, and he just such a great teacher in every sense of the word.
Richard, I could go on all evening, but the folks are going to get tired of this. So really, our collaboration has meant the world to me, and it certainly has made for a glorious career here in Peabody. So, thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being my colleague.
I just wanted to take a moment to congratulate you on this amazing accomplishment in your career. You are the reason so many students have been able to excel to the levels that they've excelled at in their life. You are the reason so many kids hold the arts near and dear to their heart. And it is an honor to know you, to have worked with you, and most importantly, to love you and have you in my life. So congratulations, and let's party.
I just want to congratulate you, and I hope they put your name right underneath mine on that wall.
Richard, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you've done for me and all my friends and all the students and families in Peabody. And I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award.
Except me.
Oh, okay.
my good friend, fellow counselor, and co-chair of the Peabody Ed Foundation, Tom Gould, to come up and help give out the awards. I would appreciate it. And Mr. Carey, come on down. All of our recipients tonight will be receiving a medal, the George Peabody Legacy Award Medal, a commemorative plaque so that they can remember how special this evening was to us, and induction into the George Peabody Trust, where they will be remembered forever, and that's in London, England. So, Richard?
Fabulous. I said to my brother this weekend, oh, I put Stephanie Manning on a mission to get me a Tanner mask for Thursday night. Not being from 01960, he looked at me and said, oh, Richard, don't you think you're tan enough? I am incredibly proud and humbled to be part of this evening and included in this august group. And I thank the Peabody Education Foundation for this honor. This past summer, I reread Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist upon the recommendation of my dear friend Brian. And there's a quote in that novel that said, when you want something, the whole world conspires to help you. And from the moment I walked into Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, I wanted to be the drama teacher. And I think everybody I know, my whole world, made that happen. And I just want to take a real quick moment to thank them. First and foremost would be my family, especially my mother and father, who fostered in me both the importance of education and the love of theater. Another quote I recently came across, choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. It's attributed to Confucius, but I'll confess I heard it recently on an episode of The Conners. And I have to thank the various and many administrators of the Peabody Public School System, especially the leaders up at the high school, for their encouragement and kindness in supporting both me and the drama program. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the many, many great teachers and staff from the high school, both past and present, many of whom I consider to be role models and my heroes. And most especially, Jon Simmons, who for more than half of my career was my supervisor, but much more importantly, was my colleague and my good, dear friend, who does a Herculean job every day for the city of Peabody. We're all so lucky. One last quote, and I wish this had been from a famous book or a Sondheim song, but it was a Facebook meme. The people you work with really do determine how much you enjoy the job. And for this, I have to give a special shout out to the students, all the students who I have had the honor and privilege to work with throughout the years, whether it be in the classroom, on stage, backstage, at friendlies. They are the people that made it. Some of those students, kids, now friends, I hear tonight, Corey, Matt, my beloved Sman, Kevin, and Chris. Some of them have reached out to me recently, whether it be Alex online, Guillermo at the gas station on Route 1, or it's true, I was pumping gas and Mr. Carey. Or last year I was on the beach with my dear friend Linda, and her daughter Allison called Sarah Tully in Thailand, and I talked to Sarah Tully. Each and every one of those students and all of those students have made every day fabulous. Students are really the heart and soul of any school, and Peabody has the best. Again, I thank you for this incredible honor.
I couldn't believe how difficult it was to get him up here with stage fright he always has. Our next recipient, our next inductee, is Mrs. Judie Maniatis, or as most of us knew her, Judy. Tragically, we lost her almost immediately after we lost Kara. Two things that will mark 2019 and 2020 for a long time in all of our hearts and minds. But Judy was employed for over 20 years at the Peabody School Department, and she really began as a special education teacher. Then she was an IEP chair, B-House dean, and most recently she was the assistant principal of the high school. Every nomination we received talked about kind, loving, caring, energetic, steadfast, committed, and competence. Every student, every day was her mantra as it was Kara's mantra. We wish she was here so that we could give her this award today, but in her absence, we have asked Bill Kroll, who is a good friend and a co-worker at the high school, to please come up and accept the award on her behalf, because her family, who wanted to be here so desperately, are attending to something very important on the West Coast. I believe it's the birth of a grandchild. So, Mr. Kroll, if you'd come up.
She was a person who always worked behind the scenes. She never wanted any kind of recognition, expected a lot of people, also compassionate.
Judy was tough. She would never ask anyone, student or teacher, to do anything that she wouldn't do herself. And I think that's what she brought to the classroom and what she brought to administration.
I watched her fight for those who may not have spoken up for themselves. I watched her push us out of our comfort zones and, support us in any way possible, even if it was outside of the purview of her job.
I know over the years students appreciated that too. And I just remember coming out of graduation one year, the student came up to her that was probably one of her biggest adversaries and said, "You know what, you were the only one that ever cared, the only one that ever said no to me." Gave her a huge hug at graduation, and she always remembered that.
She connected with students on a lot of different levels, especially for students who suffered loss. She really identified with those students and tried to seek them out to make their time at the high school better.
That she was always working tirelessly behind the scenes for all of her students. She never wanted any credit for anything and was always very humble about all of her accomplishments. That being said, she was the first person to congratulate anyone on any accomplishment, whether it was big or small.
She always wanted the best for everyone, whether you were at the top of the class or you were maybe struggling. Being in special education, she always wanted to make sure that they were safe, both physically and mentally.
If I could, I did scribble down some things that students had written to her over the years, and I think these are some of the things that really made her proud. You are a strong, independent woman, and I can honestly say I hope I'm a little like you when I get older. Thank you for upholding a safe learning environment. I could not have asked for a better 4 years of high school. Your compassion and advice helped to guide me to this point in my life. If you were to ask Mrs. Maniatis about me as a sophomore, she wouldn't have a nice thing to say. We butted heads almost on a daily basis for my first 3 years. But it was her discipline that helped me get to where I am today, and because of her, I'm able to walk across that stage on May 31st. Those are the things that I think would make Judie most proud.
She would have really been very emotional getting this award, because I think at times, she would always just feel like that was my job, and for people to recognize that she had done a good job, I think she would be totally humbled by it.
This award is a reflection of the great educator that she was, and while she may not be physically here with us, her legacy very much still lives on through Peabody and with her students. I just can truly not think of anyone more deserving to get this award.
She'd be very touched by this. I know she was a big proponent of the community. She recognized the Peabody Education Foundation and everything that they did for the high school, whether it's, I know I mentioned it tonight, being ahead of the curve with 4 one-to-one initiative, whether the Chromebook carts they got us, all of those other things. I think in particular tonight she would be honored to be inducted with her colleagues Richard, Jon, and Jeannie. This is hard for me. We still miss Judie a lot every day at the high school, and thank you.
You see, he didn't even miss a beat when I called him up too soon. He just kind of stood up in the back, and meantime, the PAT guy over there says, oh, he screwed it up. But it truly is an honor to give that award. Our next recipient is Jean Marie Marchetti, or as a lot of us know her as Mrs. Marchetti. And she is another longtime educator and the head of the Family and Consumer Science Department at Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. Well, she was until she retired, which I'm sure everybody misses her dearly. Jean's area of expertise is culinary arts. Anybody that's eaten anything at any event typically has enjoyed that skill. But she could really teach anyone who took a course in the culinary arts how to do what she does. Maybe not as good, but certainly very well. And she pitched in, I mean, I can't tell you how many events all of us have been to where there she was, pitching in the background, doing her thing, but at the same time demonstrating for her students the value and the importance of sharing their skills, volunteering their time, and helping out. So let's see a little bit about Jean.
Jeannie, I miss you so much. I really do. And I am so proud of you, and you are so deserving of this honor. The things that you have done in the Family and Consumer Science Department and supporting the vocational culinary program as well, too, are just things that keep us going as a comprehensive high school that we are and that we're proud of being.
When I think of a Legacy Award winner, I think of someone who's passed on a legacy, has left a part of them for future generations, and Jean certainly fits the bill on that one.
Jean, you are an amazing person and a dear friend. Not only have you been a tremendous department head for the Department of Family and Consumer Science, you've been a leader in making sure that all educators feel welcomed and involved at Peabody High School. But probably the biggest thing that I know that you did was you were the person with the vision to start the Christine Barbuto Garden. And without your drive, it never would be the beautiful place that it is today.
Jean was a generous with her time and her explanations and her expectations. She definitely had a high standard for how things should be presented, and it was fun to make sure that that happened.
She was incredible in terms of planning, catering, gardening, a seamstress, and baker extraordinaire.
She was kind and encouraging students as well, but she was firm in her demands for what they should do. And the students knew that, and they responded to that as well. It helped them become more organized and more disciplined. If you want to present something to the public, then you needed to make sure that you could be proud of what it was that you had accomplished.
You deserve this award and so much more, and I wish you and Phil continued happiness. Congratulations, Jean. You deserve it.
Jean, you are a gem. Ja lubisz, okay? I love you. And basically, I hope that you enjoy your retirement, and I hope that you understand that you have made a difference in so many people's lives, not just students, but those of us who are your friends and your colleagues.
I couldn't be happier for Jean getting this award. I just think it's well-deserved, and congratulations to Jean Marchetti.
Jean, if you would come up and accept your award, we would appreciate it. And those were really nice things. You know, to get that kind of critique from Michelina Haig means you did something really right. I can only tell you that I put the first gray hair on Michelina's head. Jean.
Wow. This is absolutely wonderful. I am honored, I am humbled. I can't believe I'm standing here tonight. I would like to thank Mr. David Gravel and members of the Peabody Education Foundation for organizing this amazing event. The foundation works tirelessly to strengthen and support our schools and educators with enrichment programs. Mayor Betancourt, elected officials, city officials, school administrators, my colleagues, my friends, and family, especially my husband Philip, and my children who understood that Peabody High was my second family. I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me to accept the George Peabody Legacy Award. I can't believe I'm saying these words. I am deeply honored, humbled, and ever so grateful to be standing here with my colleagues Richard, John, and in spirit, Judy, Joanne, and Dawn, and of course, the past members of the legacy. I was blessed with parents who encouraged us to find our passion, work hard, and achieve it. I am so thankful for the devotion they had for their family and education. I know they are proud, and I'm hoping they're dancing a polka with the angels tonight. As luck would have it, my teacher and mentor, Grace Fitzpatrick, continued to encourage me as I began teaching in the community where I was born and raised. I was the only one of the five of us, my siblings, who graduated from Peabody High School. And that was a little difficult bump in the road between my parents, but eventually they realized it was probably the best decision that we made together. I taught with so many talented educators. You just met them on the screen and you know so many of them along the way. And through the years, I was fortunate to learn things from them and gain more experience in my line of work. I need to take a breath, I'm sorry. My classes offered students the opportunity to learn lifelong skills, develop their talents, gain knowledge in the fields of culinary arts, nutrition, clothing design, and early childhood that could lead them toward a career path or simply for self-fulfillment. I was so proud to showcase the culinary students at different school and community events. It just made them blossom, and they felt so important and so confident in what they were doing. And when the clothing students would participate in a spring fashion show and wear their beautiful outfits that they would create, it was just such an honor to watch all of that. I recently found out that two of my former early childhood students are now teaching in the elementary schools here in Peabody. And I am just so thrilled and elated for this. It's like just wonderful, wonderful payback for hard work that happened in my classroom. In closing, this is a beautiful and memorable evening, one I will cherish always. After 32 years of teaching, I have come to realize that it's not the number of years one teaches, it's how you choose to teach that makes the difference. With my sincere gratitude to all of you here in front of me and those of you who have crossed my path through the years, please accept my sincere and deepest gratitude. Thank you. Thank you again. This is so wonderful.
Jean did notice that I probably haven't been to an event for a while because I've lost the 15 pounds that she gave me during my career here in Peabody. Thank you, Jean. That was a very, very touching speech, and we really appreciate all that you've done. There's a little place in South Peabody underneath the at the Carroll School. No, South Memorial. The Prevagen hasn't kicked in yet. And if you happen to wander down there in the bottom floor, you see some amazing stuff. And you see a lot of young early childhood students in classrooms being attended to. And it's just probably one of the best kept secrets in the city. I've had the personal pleasure of knowing many of the teachers there, as well as the staff in general, and some great memories. My kids attended that school, and though they weren't in Passos, they certainly knew everybody who was there and got the same love from those teachers. And one person in particular, who, again, unfortunately is no longer with us, at least physically, but is here in spirit, is Joanne Pantapas. I think currently she holds the record for how many nominations one person can get in 1 year. She was the director and the creator of Paso Savante Preschool at the South. She also operated the before and after school program at the South for children's in grade K through 5. Joanne embodied everything that a master educator should be: kind, flexible, patient, caring, not only for her kids, but for her staff. So let's learn a little bit more about Joanne.
So Joanne was very stylish and fashionable, first and foremost, always dressed to the nines and always just had beautiful jewelry on that matched her outfit perfect. She always looked amazing.
She was caring, strong, dedicated.
Accommodating was huge too
Yeah.
for us. Just very accommodating to her staff, her families, and her students.
Joanne had a genuine care and interest in watching children learn, and she also had this amazing ability to create just such a nurturing and caring environment for all children so they felt safe and loved as soon as they walked in through her door.
She just had this way, and she would be a mentor to all the teachers at Passos, and her door was always open.
She really made a better teacher out of me and some of my peers as well. I just felt that her guidance, her expertise, her delivery in the way that she spoke about teaching and about the children and the families, it just really helped us blossom and grow. And I just felt that she always had that way about her to make you feel like you were succeeding.
What amazed me the most was her sense of humor. When she was sick, it never left, and she would very rarely be absent. She was a brave woman. Not many people could do what she did.
She just was so proud to be part of the family that she was part of. She didn't realize the impact that she had on so many people, adults and children, staff, families, her community really. She didn't realize what she was doing for them because it just came so naturally to her. So I think part of her would have been, kind of thinking that she was undeserving of this, but I think she really would have been honored and it would have just been amazing.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. I think she would have just been like, well, this is what I love to do. This is my job. This is what I'm here for. And I think she would have been very, very honored and shocked almost.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't be because it is rightfully so.
She would have said, thank you, it's my job to do this. Because she was very low-key.
Humbled.
And humble, I guess that's the word.
Very humble. We loved her. And we really miss her.
Now you can see why she got all those nominations. We are very fortunate this evening to have her son, Christopher, here to accept the award on behalf of his mom, Joanne.
Thank you so much, appreciate it. I didn't really prepare a speech today. Felt kind of weird accepting an award from my mother who's not here. I didn't kind of know how to handle it, but after watching that video, I'm really just humbled and overwhelmed with just seeing all the words that everyone said about her. And I miss her so much, man. It just sucks, but she would have been so happy to win this award. All she cared about was Peabody schools. Even her time in sickness, it was like her number one thing. It's all she cared about. It's what she stressed about more than her sickness. So I just wanted to say I miss you, Mom. I love you. Shout out to all my family that are here, her girls from Passos who have been unbelievable through this whole process, and just everyone else. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
next inductee we also lost too early in life. Don Raphael, or as most of us knew him here at the Higgins, Raph. And if you want to see some amazing things that he did, just take a look at those pictures out in the foyer, all things that he did. And he was an art educator, and it takes a special talent to be able to create and do more than stick figures like I do, but to influence students who have that ability to be the best that they can be. And I know they are because I've had a couple of his students' pictures up in my house in Maine, in our guest bedroom now, which I've had people ask me if they were done, where I got them, and if they were done by professionals, and I say, well, they were certainly led by a pro. So he's another person of great character, wonderful personality, an amazing sense of humor, and according to one of his many nominations, he made it easy to fall in love with this class and with the world of art. He just brought it home. So let's learn a little bit more about Raph.
My name is Ashley Fountain, and I am a former student of Mr. Raphael. Today, I am an artist living in LA, and when I think of how I got here and who influenced me growing up, I can think of Mr. Raphael 100%.
Donnie was a student-centered teacher before. I think student-centered was one of those buzzwords in education. He always had kids leading the way in terms of what they wanted to do and discover their passions.
As a child, being in his classroom, I felt comfortable. I maybe wasn't the strongest student academically, and I felt like I was successful in his classroom. Didn't matter if you thought you weren't artistic or if you were talented, everybody had a place in the art room.
I remember him being really cool and really into pop culture and comics, and the way he had his classroom set up was just so interesting. There were all these cool movie posters and cutouts and weird art that I would fixate on. And I can say with certainty that all those elements of his classroom influenced my style.
He had a passion for art, but also a love for music.
He always had classic rock playing in his classroom. He was always the life of the social interactions. And he was selfless. He would do anything for anybody. Just let me know what you need, kid. He called everybody kid.
He made a difference in so many of our professional and personal lives. I think that he'd be proud to know that through art, he was able to touch so many people in this city. He created a passion for a lot of us, myself included, but just being able to give back to the community that he was from is what was passionate about it, and being able to be acknowledged for that, I think he would be truly honored.
Yeah, and I think he would be humbled by it. Not a man of any ego at all, and I think that he would be very honored to have this legacy award. And he had an impact on thousands and thousands of kids over his career, and everyone remembers Mr. Raff and what he meant to them, and I think he would appreciate it. He certainly would.
I'm so pleased to hear that he is being recognized and receiving this award. Who knows how many little artists he helped develop during his time teaching. I know he's going to be greatly missed in the school system, in our community. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Raphael. Thank you to his family, and congratulations.
Accepting the award for Raph this evening are his two sons. If they would come up, I'd love to have them say a few words on behalf of their dad.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. If my dad was here, I think he'd be really honored, so I'm humbled to do it on his behalf. Our family's honored to accept this award on our father's behalf. He loved the city of Peabody. He lived here his entire life. Couldn't go anywhere without him seeing a familiar face. I remember getting out of like a basketball game or a baseball game, and it was like a meeting after the game. He'd bump into like 10 people. What touched our family the most after my dad's passing were all the messages from his students, letting us know that his class is a sacred place. It was safe for them during challenging times for them. They'd say Mr. Raphael always had the best music, jam in, plenty of M&Ms to eat, of course. He let us eat lunch in his room, which probably was against the rules, and we could stay after school to do homework. He just always made us feel accepted, never judged anyone. His passions were definitely music, sports, and art, definitely laughing with people. Just like a block of clay, my dad molded lives of, us, his kids, and countless students. And he really prompted them just to be kind, creative, and never sweat the small stuff. Let's keep Mr. Raff's colorful spirit alive through his artwork and educational funds. So in the near future, we'll be having an art show to auction off some of his best drawings. The funds will go to Peabody schools. We pray we can paint a colorful, filled portrait for his legacy to live on through art. We'd also like to present today to the city of Peabody, the PEF, a check for $3,000. And these donations are graciously given by those of you that love, my dad as much as we do. So thank you, everyone. One more thing, too. There's some Facebook messages left, which my dad had Facebook. He had no idea how to use it, but he tried. Effort counts. So my brother Luke's just going to share a couple of messages that some students left for him. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad. Just so you guys know, I just wanted to comment. It was a photo of my dad in his art class. His house looked like that, too. And that's no joke. As my brother Chad was saying, I'm Luke. We just really appreciate, everyone reaching out to us after my father's passing. Just to let everyone know, I posted a message on Facebook, and we received so much love, and I just thought it would be, my family included, thought it would be impactful just to share some of the messages people left. Just a few. I know it's late. We want to get home. These were just from some of his former students. Very sad to hear of my former art teacher, Mr. Raphael's passing. He helped me so much in the 8th grade. He let me hang out in his room for lunch when I was being bullied, and he always talked about his wife and kids. He was the first great dad that I met. He let me hang a Jim Morrison poster in his art room and drew me this picture when I graduated 8th grade. Rest easy, say hi to Jim for me. Mr. Raff taught me more than he knew. I've spent many days with him eating lunch, sitting outside, or even watched TV for a little while. No matter what this man was going through, he always had a positive attitude towards it, and he always was there with a smile on his face. He was the type of person who would give his last dollar up for someone who truly needed it. He wouldn't ever turn anyone away. I'll miss seeing you, talking with you, laughing hysterically, and learning about life with you. You're number one in my books, and I think it'll be that way for a very long time. You're the biggest jabroni. Until next time, big man. And just so you know, that's how he talked to his students. And just one more. His classroom was an island in the rough seas that were middle school. I wouldn't be who I am today if I had not met Mr. Raff. His door and his heart was always open. For that I will ever be grateful. It's clear he left an impact with a lot of students. I myself was one of his students, and I was very grateful to have my dad, and also have my dad as an art teacher. He molded me into the man I am today, and I am very honored and grateful to receive this award on his behalf. So thank you very much.
Wow. It's not often somebody, as they're walking off the stage, hands you a check for $3,000. I had to catch my breath on that one. Clearly, what he gave his sons and he gave this community was greater than we can express in words, and I am just so thrilled that he will be honored on that wall and remembered always as such a great and giving person. So again, thank you to the Raphael family. And we're also going to be participating in that art auction because there's some really cool artwork out there to help raise funds. Our last recipient this evening is a very good friend, somebody that I've admired from the time that he arrived at the high school, who I can't say enough about in terms of what he does with his students and how great he makes Peabody look no matter where he takes his group. Jon Simmons is not retired. He's currently teaching. I do hope he stays there for a long time. It's okay. But he has left an indelible mark on not only his students, but the city. He's been the director of performing arts at the Peabody High School for 26 years. Again, I think I'm revealing a little too much about my age. Mr. Simmons provides meaningful artistic experience that will enrich and enhance the lives of the students. He's committed to the arts and an arts education. And if anybody has ever sat in and watched him instruct and the discipline that he instills upon his students, you would be just amazed. But he also cultivates a friendship that I see lasting for a lifetime amongst those who participate in chorale, in the jazz band, and in Full House. He just makes our students feel the best that they can be and perform the best that they can. So how about a little clip for Jon Simmons? Jon, I can't say enough. I want to congratulate you on the Legacy Award. I want you to know you've been nominated every year since we started giving out the Legacy Award.
Well, Jon, I'd like to congratulate you on this award. You're so deserving, and I'm sure your students would totally agree with us.
Jon, you are a king among men, and that you lead by example, and that you're so good at what you do. You help others to become as good as they can be, and I've seen a quarter century of students do that.
Mr. Simmons has been one of my very, very nice teachers, probably one of the best that I know. From freshman year and sophomore year, and then junior year and senior is Full House and chorale. Light of my day when I get to see him, so.
What most people might not know about him is how fun he is and how varied he can be. He had so many varied styles to be able to reach every child, which was so great and inspirational.
I have never seen an individual who is so dedicated to his craft and his students, as I've seen with Jon. He is just a tremendous teacher and a mentor.
He schools his kids so that they're professional and they're very mature. They know how to act. They always dress appropriately. So they have a lot of respect for him.
I mean, there have been many times that I've been like, don't even tell me you need my tie, because they forgot to bring a tie. And they were like, no, this is serious. I need a tie. And I think he asks for far more discipline than a lot of other people do, but kids love it.
He pushes students not too hard, but he knows exactly what they can handle, pushes them to be the best that they can be. Whenever he's working with them, if they struggle, he can see it right away. He doesn't single them out about it, doesn't make them feel bad about it. He helps them in the best way he knows possible.
He is a very driven person. He wants every student to succeed.
He's passionate about everything that he does, whether he's helping out at a concert or working an event on behalf of the city and bringing kids in. That passion just, comes right out of his skin, and it makes you feel good about being there. Thank you for all that you've done, and congratulations on receiving this award.
Congratulations, Mr. Simmons. If I know anyone who deserves this, it's obviously you. And I can't wait to finish out my senior year working with you. It's been a pleasure.
You're a rock star. Thank you for your service.
Johnny, I actually got off the beach today to come and say thank you to you and congratulations to you for everything that you do. You make Peabody a richer community. You certainly make the high school a better place to be because of everything that you bring to it. And I just want to take this opportunity to say congratulations, well deserved.
Does he need an introduction?
Well, I have to say it again, what an honor it is to receive the Legacy Award alongside my esteemed colleague, Richard Carey. We've partnered on over 20 musical productions and for over 2 decades have guided the course of an exceptionally dynamic performing arts department. I've been inspired by Richard's strong connection with our students and have often been comforted by his down-to-earth approach to the educational profession. I'd also like to express my gratitude for the Peabody Education Foundation. I'm so honored to be included with such a stellar list of Legacy Award recipients. Supported by the Peabody Education Foundation's Best Bet grant program, our Performing Arts Department has been able to provide an unparalleled field trip experience to the Boston Symphony Orchestra youth concerts at Symphony Hall for every student, every 5th grader, free of charge. I look forward to our continued collaboration and hope for even more great things to come. As a music teacher, I've found fertile ground in Peabody. The talent pool has been deep, and I continued to be buoyed by student enthusiasm for the arts along with an endearing sense of community and cooperation. I'd like to thank the Peabody Education Foundation for inviting chorale to sing this evening, as we certainly appreciate the opportunity to support civic events with our performance. Speaking of choirs, I'd like to take a moment to talk about something near and dear to my heart, and of course that would be choral singing. When I was an idealistic music education major, I was sure I was going to change the world for the better through choral singing. I was absolutely convinced that the simple act of resonating with one another could bring about profound connection, personal healing, and eventually world peace. Sadly, the pandemic was particularly tough on choral music, as the dangers of group singing quickly became stigmatized and perhaps a bit overblown. Forgive the pun. Anyway, the students singing for you this evening have persevered, and we remain fully dedicated to carrying on our rich tradition. Still, we could use a little help. I'm going to celebrate a birthday tomorrow. It's been a long week. So I'm going to ask for your indulgence in singing happy birthday this evening. Now, if you're a reluctant singer, you're welcome to just hum along. And if you're an especially reluctant singer, don't worry, you can do the beatbox part. So we're going to learn how to do that. Watch carefully. Wait for the click, and I'll show you, and then you'll repeat it. Here it goes. Cha, cha, cha. All right, you try it. Cha, cha, cha. Oh, very good. On the first try. That's pretty, it's Peabody. I expect no less. One more time. Cha, cha, cha. Oh, you're awesome. You're awesome. Nev, do you have a C or a do? What was that? A C or a do? Wait for the click. Happy birthday to you. Cha, cha, cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha, cha, cha. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to Wait for the click. I thought he wanted us to click. I'm back up there clicking my fingers going, how come nobody else is doing it? God, I get so much to learn. That was beautiful. So we are going to end this evening with a musical selection from the Full House, folks. And the song you all know is Fireworks. So, Full House?
amazing, just amazing. Thank you very much, John. Thank you, Full House. We really appreciate it. One more round of applause, Full House. I have two little pieces of housekeeping before I dismiss the class. First of all, there are cups with bundt cakes in them. Please take them home, because otherwise they end up at my office, and those 15 pounds will come right back. Second, the inductees for this year, the new class of 2021, if you could come back to the stage area so we can get a picture of our class, including the people who received awards on behalf of those who have left us. We would like to do that. And finally, I'll remind you once again, we have a beautiful website which is created by Christine Bruno, who is an amazing talent. And this year we've added some things like our newsletter and some updates on our grant programs. I hope this evening you've been inspired by the people who were nominated. I encourage you to think back, remember who's the teacher that you thought of most, who's the educator that helped you the most, and nominate them, and encourage your friends to nominate them, because they deserve it. There's an old thought in my mind that always goes through, which is only by remembering the past can we inspire the future. Thank you very much for your attendance this evening.